What's up, family? It's your girl, April Love, and we are back with another episode of Just Breathe with April Love. And I am too excited to bring my girl on this episode. She's a very good friend of mine, but she's also just a multi-hyphenate, just a bundle of black girl magic. Her name is Nicci Gilbert, and she is a performer. You probably know her from the success of Brownstone, her group that actually Michael Jackson signed. And then she's a creator. She's an executive producer. She's produced for for BET, for TV One. And of course, we know about everything that's going on with her litigation with the creators of P Valley. So we get into all that today. But we also talk about how all these breathtaking moments and all these ups and downs and challenges has made her even more relentless in her pursuit of greatness. And she's going to share it all with us. So stay tuned. Today is going to be so much fun. I have not only a CEO, entrepreneur, multi-hyphenate entrepreneur, executive producer, and so many accolades. Oh my gosh. But she's my friend. That's the big one in all caps. Today, we have Nicci Gilbert in the building.
Whoop, whoop. Hello, April.
How are you?
First of all, I'm absolutely fabulous. I know that this wasn't planned, but I'm in a room that is filled with blue and gold, and you know I'm all about that blue and gold.
Yes, congratulations. Yes.
So yeah, I love it here. And I love you.
And we love you here. We love you here. See, this is wonderful, right? It's like we knew.
Good energy.
Yes, good energy. So I don't even know where to start. First of all, bring the people up to speed. We know you from Brownstone.
Yes.
We know you from R&B Divas,
Yep.
but you are so many things. So and definitely get into WIRF. So
yes.
tell the people about what you got going on currently.
So I currently have entered the technology business, right?
Okay.
Tech business.
Big business.
Yeah. Well, we're babies in it.
Okay.
We're super babies in it, right? But just, I'm super excited and super motivated about WIRF, WIRF, Women in Reality Film, TV and Media. We're streaming app. Yes.
I love that.
Yeah. So we are officially, our web-based app is available now, but we are excited about iOS and being on Roku and all those wonderful platforms as well.
Absolutely.
Yes. For us, by us. Like your team. I was so excited to see all these beautiful melanated sisters and brothers.
Yes. We do good work too, so we must put that energy out.
Yes.
Yes, I love that. So what motivated you to do that? What motivated you to, I need to start this media platform?
April, listen, first of all, we met, we didn't even meet. You didn't even meet me as a singer. You met me as a producer, right? I was working on Soul Kittens Cabaret.
Soul Kittens, absolutely.
And, so, and
we turned that whole building turned into the Soul Kittens.
Didn't it? We had a little residency, right? And that's where I first met you and Derek, and your energy from jump. You were so helpful and warm and inviting. And we had everybody, so Monifa, Trinice, it was a bunch of
everybody,
folks hanging out with us, right? And what motivated me to really move forward and press forward with this platform was just the void. I think it's no secret. I've had my share of WTF is going on with this content, right?
Oh my God.
And God spoke to me in a way that was so loud and so clear. It's just like, stop waiting for permission to share authentic stories. Stop waiting for permission to show people that, we are not a monolith. We are multidimensional, magical people.
Right.
And always waiting for a corporate situation there's so many variables and layers when you start talking about getting stuff greenlit.
Right.
Marketing and advertising and who's friends with who and who's
You said it right there. Who's friends with who? Because these are side meetings.
That's it.
Because you'll think it's one thing, and then these people will get together and it becomes something else.
Yeah, I got tired of the middleman syndrome,
Yeah.
or middlewoman syndrome.
Whatever they are.
And it's typically men, just so we're clear.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just felt like it was a need. I felt like there was a void. I felt like it was time for us to be able to share our stories and not have to ask for permission anymore. And that is what WIRF is.
I love that. I love that.
Thank you, baby.
They say when stuff is going crazy, the best things are, they said people, when chaos or anything's going on, people become wealthy, people find love. So I think it's all kind of like that calm before the storm kind of thing. And then that's when the rainbow comes out. So, but you still been in the midst of a storm a little bit. Cause I've been wrestling people in comments.
Yes.
So tell us where you are currently with and what I'm referencing to the extent of what you will talk.
I'm an open book. Like, I feel like it's really important for, you know, like people, I appreciate people giving me the courtesy of saying, hey, let's talk about what we're going to talk about first. But I prefer to just be organic and authentic. And yes, I have been in a really serious valley. What's crazy, April, is I was telling your team, the last time we sat down together, I went home. My mom was like, oh, I'll take a filet. And I gave her a filet, and not to immediately bring it here, but my mom had a stroke that night, you know, and she was nonverbal for 90 days. Yes.
Beautiful.
But I had an opportunity to tell her about this podcast and what we talked about and how excited I was about it. Yeah. And I gave her, and I was like, yeah, she's like, so how was it? So you were like the last sort of communication that we were able to, I mean, she was still alive, but she was nonverbal and, you know, but
thanks for sharing that with me.
Yeah, absolutely. So Helen is in the space.
Come on, Helen. Yes, I already know.
Yeah. So when you talk about being in the valley, yes, and I think you're absolutely right. Brownstone wouldn't have gotten a record deal with Michael Jackson if I hadn't gotten stranded in the desert, right?
Yeah. I'm telling you.
You know,
oh my
it's
God,
crazy.
What's happening?
Like, you know, From the Bottom Up, the series, which is, you know, we were able to put away a child predator. Wouldn't have happened if I hadn't been broken from R&B Divas. R&B Divas wouldn't have happened if I hadn't had the trials and the issues that we had during the time. So what I've learned to be a professional at is understanding that when God brings you to your knees, you have to pay attention. And there's something greater there. And I do agree that some of our greatest testimonies and greatest opportunities to build wealth and wellness, which is more important than wealth.
Oh God,
come out of our storms.
Health and
wealth.
wealth.
Sometimes we're still in them while it's happening. So yeah.
Absolutely. So you were inspired to launch WIRF. Is it original program? Talk to us about what kind of stories. So what kind of things are we going to be?
So right now, if you go to our platform, you'll see the first season of From the Bottom Up.
Okay.
We are releasing the second season of From the Bottom Up.
Okay.
This month. And then in April, we're going to be releasing the third season of From the Bottom Up. So the beautiful thing about being able to do that is I partner with Queen Latifah and Shakim Flavor Unit on that series. And we did it with BET Her. And it was a license.
Oh, it was licensed. Brilliant. High five.
There you go. So it was a license. So when that license ended with BET, rather than go and like, you know, try to solicit another. And that's not to say that you'll never see it on larger platforms, but that is one of the shows that we're proud to say we have there. An original content, Diary of a Diva, which is a docu-pod.
Okay.
It is a great opportunity for me and other women to sit down and be transparent about our journeys, because that's what R&B Divas was really supposed to be about. Us being able to tell our authentic stories. So episode 1 is Monifa and I. And it's people are loving it, and it's like reigniting this passion for R&B Divas, which may still very well be coming.
Yeah, people have been asking. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. TV1 is in the Divas business. We just had a great Urban One Honors miniature reunion situation.
Nice.
Yep. Which
Cute.
went excellent. But then also I want people to be clear, it's going to be a lot of fun content. We've got some wellness and lifestyle content coming for you guys, original programming. We've even got my sisters Erin and Alexis, who sing with me with Brownstone.
Okay.
They have a children's album, a children's book, and a scripted series that they're doing. So we're going to be doing that over there as well.
Nice.
And the beautiful thing about it is when people come, some people will come and ask us to help them develop their content, which we're developing a cooking show for a friend of mine. We're developing a show about hair, makeup, and glam. I'm so excited about this show.
I see.
And I have a host in my mind that I want for us so bad. Nene Leaks. But we're doing a lot of docu stuff initially. But then I have 4 scripts, drama series, film. Oh, baby.
Yeah.
We wasn't pandemic and sitting up,
not
woe is me.
Okay, working.
Right. We were creating. So we don't have investment partners right now. So everything we do is sweat equity and, you know, what we can invest outside of this litigation. But we're excited about bringing people We're excited about bringing people really great scripted docu and stuff that doesn't require you to ruin your families and ruin your mental wellness to do it. So yeah, it is content that entertains, uplifts, and inspires, but it's also some drama in there,
yeah,
baby.
It's gonna be a little saucy. I would expect nothing less.
Yes.
So now let's get to some things.
Yeah.
Now, why is it important?
Yeah.
I know why you did it. I'm pretty sure, you know, but we hear all this back and forth with the Dave Chappelles and the Moniques and Netflix and all these different networks and streaming platforms and stuff, and how they're gatekeepers and there's this and there's that and bait and switching sometimes. Out of that necessity to not have to just have the inner workings of, even though they're big machines, why did you feel like now was an important time to launch
a streaming platform?
Yeah.
It was the P Valley case that really, actually we started sort of, I'll never forget, we entered this Equality Can't Wait challenge. They were giving $10 million grants to organizations that helped women of color. We're like, we're going to get it. We're going to get it. We got great reviews from them. So that was originally how we started, it's time to do our own streaming platform, which was 2018, right?
Right.
And then when I realized that I had to go through this, litigation with Stars, Lionsgate, P Valley, Katori Hall, those folks, I realized that part of the problem is that I had to go and pitch and share my ideas with someone, right? So my first sort of introduction to the importance of ownership was during my work with Tyler Perry on Meet the Browns. And I'll never forget my partner, who's my partner now, and some other great ideas and stories, Lucia. I overheard her saying, we were playing the Airy Crown in Chicago. We sold that sucker out. It was 5,000 seats. We sold it out for an entire week. So he was seeing 30, 40,000 people a week. And I was just like, so I became inspired to write and finish writing Soul Kittens Cabaret, because I had started it maybe a year or so prior. And I was like, you know what? I want to be just like Tyler when I grow up. And
don't we all?
So, right. Well, I see it differently now. I see it differently now. I actually want to be very, very different, but in terms of having some of the same opportunities,
absolutely,
which is why I pitched
of creative expression
exactly
too,
and ownership.
Yeah,
at
ownership.
The end of the day, at the end
you can't
of the
drive
day,
that home. Ownership. That's the difference maker.
That is the only way to get to the generational wellness and wealth that we all aspire to get to.
Exactly.
You have to own your sugar honey iced tea.
You do.
That is why Tyler Perry, he said it again in the movie. In the movie.
Yeah.
He went and met with Lionsgate. So when I went and sat down with them, Lionsgate, I had the same investor who invested in Tyler's career early on. And he said, listen, he came to my house and he was like, because I learned the hard lesson from R&B Divas. I didn't own anything with R&B Divas, right? I created it. I cast it. I used my own resources to put the sizzle together. I did everything that an owner does.
Yeah.
But nobody really pulled me to the side and was like, hey, listen, and again, let me be clear. It has nothing to do with TV1 because we didn't do the deal with TV1.
Oh.
We did the deal with a production company.
Okay.
A culturally incompetent, as far as I'm concerned, production company, because how can you know about Black women if you haven't had our lived experiences, right? So I have a post on my IG that has 1 million views from Denzel Washington saying the same thing. But I'm a woman, so when I say it, it's aggressive and angry and hostile and all that stuff.
Sugar honey iced tea.
All that sugar honey iced tea. Yeah. So when I went and I pitched to the CEO of Lionsgate, like, hey, I have this play, I have Fantasia and Faith Evans do it, and I want a TV series, I want to Broadway it, I want a drama film, like all these different layers, and left that stuff with him. What I didn't realize at the time is by leaving, even though I was copyright, my copyright had been there from 2004.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've been copyrighted for a long time. Okay. 2004 with the Writers Guild, right? And when I completed it again in 2006, right? And I left everything with him. And then years later, I looked up and I saw a substantially similar series where someone was basically hired or outsourced and given $100 million to produce. So that made me realize, the CEO of Star said, yeah, we gave Katori Hall $100 million to produce P Valley. And
dang, Katori girl.
Yeah. I don't know if they gave her.
I know, but that was the investment.
Of a budget. And and when I sit down and I remember the CEO saying, "Oh, Tata, I love it. And Tata is French for auntie, French, so when you look at Auntie Burlesque and Uncle Clifford, when you look at all the specifics and, again, not to publicly litigate a case, we're still in appeal, thank God. But it was disheartening, to say the least, to understand that I, as a woman of color, could not be given the same opportunities as Tyler Perry has said a gazillion times. Listen, I went into Lionsgate and I said, this is what it is, right?
Yeah.
And I had hoped that by him understanding what I was trying to do and by me being so inspired by his moves and how he was able to build studios and create wealth, that might be an inroad because he had relationships with those people to not make it as publicly, exposed as it was. But I realized, honey, people worry about themselves and it's not, their business. You know what I'm saying? So,
but disheartening. I mean, that's disheartening to the 10th power because after I saw what I saw, imagine what was done when I didn't see the work that you were putting into this. This was an original work. This is something that came with creative expression that God gave you. But to up and see something that's so closely.
Same story.
I mean, people are doing it left and right too. The people are completely in agreement. A majority of the people, like I said, I'm trolling the comments and stuff because I'm like, what's going on? Because she looks real irritated. So I want to know, kind of keep going what's going on with it. And then to see that, what's your first thought? Like, what do you even? It would just send me into a tailspin to a certain extent.
It completely. So first of all, I didn't. My husband saw it.
Oh, okay.
My husband originally saw it,
but I remember him being on set the whole time too.
It's crazy. Yeah. So my husband is very quiet, and he's 6'8", but you wouldn't even know he was in the room.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not about this business. He saw it and he was like, babe, you got to see this. You got to see this. And I've been hearing about P-Valley. And I was like, oh, it's about strippers. Soul Kittens isn't about strippers. It's about burlesque dancers, which are strippers. But, there's more story. It's about this beloved venue and blah, blah, blah. I had no idea that it was the same exact beginning, the same middle, the same end, the same number of characters. My character was Auntie Burlesque. This character was Uncle Clifford. The same exchanges, the same language. So when I finally looked at it, and then I started getting calls from people who were like, yeah, okay, girl, we was down with you with Soul Kittens from the beginning, like you, and congratulations, I guess. And I'm like, so people are thinking
that's your project.
That, like, congrats, in a shady way. Right. So initially, I didn't want this to be a big thing, April. Initially, I was like, okay, this is another Black woman. She's Pulitzer Prize, she had won all these awards and stuff. And I'd already gone through my thing with R&B Divas. I'm like, people already see me as difficult. I had just gotten off of the whole Kelly Price fiasco, which was a total mess, which is something I did not want to get involved in because I knew there was the potential for this lawsuit. But Kelly is my friend. Right. Kelly was missing on a national federal FBI, like a serious missing persons list. So I said, don't be ego-driven. Forget about what you got going over here and what people have to say. Focus on her.
Right.
Hindsight 2020. I should have just kept my mouth closed and continued. No, I shouldn't have. Because it brought attention to missing women. Yeah. But that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah. A whole nother cause.
We sent a couple of really some letters. That's what you do initially, right? Let's not turn this into anything extra. Let's not make this a big thing.
Right.
I went and met with the CEO of Lionsgate. I left them all of my materials. These are substantially similar, strikingly similar. The lawyer that referred me is friends with the CEO. That's why he took the meeting. The assistant for the lawyer scheduled the meeting. My then publicist, Lynn Jeter, attended the meeting with me. I left all of these materials and he doesn't recall.
The meeting at all?
He said, I can't recall. So I can't recall was held more water, I guess, than no, we were definitely absolutely there for people of color, including an attorney who was a friend of his. Like, no, the meeting happened.
He's a person of color too?
No. The CEO is not a person of color. Okay. The CEO is he runs Lionsgate.
Yeah, God. Of course he's
no
not.
Shade, but of course not.
Of course he's not.
So, and I remember very specific parts of the conversation. And again, I felt like he was really cool. Like, got a nice little, Mel Gibson-esque kind of quality about him. Seemed like he was really in the space of creative. I felt really confident when I didn't hear back. I said, oh, it's Hollywood. It just happens. But I continued to develop my show. Right. Now I have a story that is exactly the same as another story. We initially could not come to an amicable private understanding with Katori and her team. So I had to file, right? I had to make a decision to either let them have it and not fight for it, or to fight, knowing that the world again was going to be like this. Like I already knew what was coming on with it. But I don't worry about it. I could care,
much is
people who love me, and those are the people I care about their opinions, right?
Right.
So long story short, we had to file this thing, and it was in Georgia for a year. And then for some reason, we don't know why, they tossed it over to LA because Lionsgate asked for that to happen, right?
Oh, okay.
So they wanted to dismiss it. Judge was like, no, I'm not dismissing it out of Georgia, but they tossed it over to LA. Judge tossed it over to LA because he's like, hey, there are people who actually need to take the stand and kind of explain this.
Right.
So we went back and forth for a good little while, and, we got a judge who, is conservative, and, he said, oh, you know what, looking at these two things, he actually suggested that the defendants file a motion for summary judgment, which is a motion to just throw my case out completely, right?
Mm-hmm.
He suggested to them that they file it, so they filed it, and he granted them the dismissal after years and millions of dollars. So now
he's like, oh no.
He said no reasonable juror would look at this evidence. He threw out my expert's report. The expert's report. This expert worked with the Mario Puzo family. Like, I never spoke to the expert. The experts do their job. If it wasn't the same, then the expert would have said it's not the same.
Right.
They didn't even bother to hire an expert on their side because I guess they figured they didn't need it. They got other resources.
Yeah.
So they never hired an expert. Initially, the judge wasn't going to even give me deposition. Like, he wasn't going to give me discovery. I'm sorry.
What?
No, he said my attorneys were like, hey, we just got into LA, and I'm paraphrasing, and this is all on Pacer, it's all public information. Hey, this case was just transferred to you. We need to go through discovery. Nope. We're like, well, every case gets discovery.
Right.
Then he changed his mind later and he said, you could do it, but we got like 8 weeks where some people get a whole year. So we didn't get any. So everything was literally just, nope. Just, it was like that. It was like, why are you bothering me with this? And I'm like, this is something that I like.
Yeah.
20 years of my life.
Life's
creating,
work.
And it was worth $100 million investment from them to someone else.
Yeah.
Who I don't even think owns it. I don't know. Allegedly, she's worked for hire. And yeah, so.
And not to mention, though, this cuts you off. Not only did you guys do this, but it's not like you could. Now, if you came back with it, it's going to be like, oh, she's copying.
Right. The story has been
copyright
told.
Infringing.
You can't tell. I mean, a casino, come on. A small, these are things that actually happened in Detroit. In Detroit, casinos came and wiped out a lot of, didn't wipe out. Just a lot of businesses were lost during that time. These are places that are reminiscent of, my mother was a jazz singer.
Right.
And when I was younger, I would go when she's in rehearsal with it. So, it was a love story to my city of Detroit. It was about gentrification. It was about casinos coming in and taking over these small buildings. None of that ever happened in real life where Katori's from. Katori said that she got the inspiration for Uncle Clifford.
Yeah.
She said she got the inspiration from Uncle Clifford from her mother, her father, and she got an uncle named Clifford, none of which are transgender people. Nico Anand, who's from Detroit, who played Uncle Clifford, said, first of all, the casino plot wasn't in her play. Like, so much stuff was not in her original play, which they said publicly. She's from Memphis, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So they did give us a chance to do deposition. The CEO did not want to be deposed, but thankfully, the magistrate judge, who isn't my federal judge, I'm sorry, I guess it's a federal judge, but it's the magistrate, and then you have like the main judge, right?
Right.
She said, no, I believe that the CEO needs to do a deposition. So he did a deposition. And I sat through the deposition with my mouth open, and we were like, wow. And
did he lie?
They sealed everything, so nobody can ever see it. They said, we want to seal this. We don't want anybody to see any of this. So you can't see Katori, what she had to say. You can't see what the CEO had to say.
It sounds like you got something to hide. That sounds so.
You can't see what any of these people have to say, and you threw my case out saying nobody's going to see similarities here. So I know what I'm up against. I know what this is.
Girl, that's a movie in and of itself.
I know. And then the thing is, you can't say anything publicly that makes people feel like I'm being disrespectful to the judicial system, because I'm not. So I just have to and it's hard, because I know the reality of it is that I'm fighting a multi-billion-dollar company, right? And I can either just let them kick me and throw me down a flight of stairs, and I'm gonna climb back up with the bangs and the bruises, like, no, not to be graphic, but bleeding from every, and still, and they're gonna kick me down again, and I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Instead of recognizing that these things are substantially similar. Anybody with eyes and ears can see that, and figuring out how to go forward and like really change what is happening in this industry.
Because it'll happen again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But here's the thing I would say to anyone out there, I saw Tiffany Red talking about the whole thing with Diddy, and she's like, I'm suing this company, I'm suing that company, I'm suing the other company. I don't know if it was emotion or what, but I say to creatives, hindsight, if I didn't think I was going to get a fair shot, if I didn't think after $1 million that I was going to at least have I never had an opportunity to say anything in court. There was the one hearing that we flew to LA to have basically was postponed. Like, oh, y'all, whatever, we'll do it another day. And then that one was canceled.
What?
And then the other one was canceled. And then we're supposed to have another one. It was so it was just basically I was a gnat in the space of the judicial
and they're like, well, maybe
system,
she'll just eventually go away.
you know. And I'm like, but once you're $500,000 into it, you can't stop. Then once you're $1 million into it, you really can't stop.
Now I'm more.
And now they're trying to sue me for the money because I stood up for my rights. So now they want me to pay them $1 million in their legal fees, even though they had pretty much insurance companies, I'm sure, set up allegedly to pay for those things, right?
Yes.
Anytime I say, and the reason, that is the reason I was so vocal. The reason I was so vocal, which people don't understand. People are like, why don't you just shut up and let the legal? Well, I knew when it got transferred. I knew when it got transferred to the judge it got transferred to, right? I do my research. You do your research. One Google search tells you could forget about it, sister.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I knew what I was dealing with. The minute it sat in Atlanta for a year and some change, and then they threw it over to LA. And then when I did the research and I saw what was happening in LA, I was like, oh yeah, they're not. This ain't gonna work out really well for me. So all I had was to be able to say publicly, this is what's happening.
And that's what you should do. That's what's going to bring the eyes and the attention. Now, this is Just Breathe with April Love. So this is breathtaking. I'm over here holding my breath.
I know, right?
You know, because I get, I know how I am, and I know that I'm a ball of fire, and I know how this would be so taxing on me physically. So in the midst, when was this? How long ago did you?
I filed in 2020, July. Okay. We sent the letter. It aired July 12th, 2020. We started letters maybe a month or so after it aired.
They were all
in the middle of
the pandemic.
4 years.
4 years. Now, how are you in the midst of this? How are you feeling? Like, what's going through what are you feeling like mentally and physically? Is it taxing, or is it you're so frustrated, or what is it? What is it that Nicci's feeling in the midst of all of this?
I'm feeling a lot of anxiety.
Because you're up against Goliath.
A lot of anxiety because I understand that this is going to be a press nightmare for me. Yeah. I know that there are people who don't like me because of R&B Divas who are waiting for the opportunity.
Made assumptions.
Like, she clout chasing and this and that and the third. I know I'm going to deal with that. I know that financially it's going to be disastrous as it has been on my family, right? I'm fighting with, do you stand up for yourself? Do you fight the giant, or do you just say, forget it, y'all can have it? Let me just move on, because then I go to sleep every night knowing I quit, which is like impossible, you know?
Yeah, it doesn't appear like that's.
It's just not in my DNA.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't seem like it. It doesn't seem like your character to just go like.
It's just not in my DNA. It's just not. I've lost too much. I lost my sister Maxie in 2015. My mother passed away, and then 90 days later, my father passed away. Right.
That's heavy.
Just loss and trauma.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. So I had to really, so what has really helped me manage is just remembering to breathe, right? And breathing it sounds really crazy to say that, but working out. You have to, if you don't breathe while you're working out, you're going to be on the flow somewhere from oxygen deprivation.
Exactly.
So working out physically, challenging myself every day, feeling like if I can't accomplish anything with this case, if I can't accomplish anything with my financial situation, I can at least make myself better physically. That I can do every single day.
Because you need that stamina and everything, endurance to even go through all of this. Because it is physically and mentally.
Cute, even though you look like you feel like shit.
No, you look good. You don't look like what you've been through. You know what I'm saying?
When
some people dragging.
Right.
They look exactly like
what they gray hair, right? So we know that there's nothing I can do about that. It was coming anyway.
But we love that though.
It was coming anyway, and we figured out how to make it work. But yeah, it was very difficult, April. It was very difficult. But what was more difficult than even me, because God just built me like a tank on the inside. Physically, mentally, and spiritually. I'm an eternal optimist. I don't believe things are impossible. I don't think about things that are impossible. I don't pursue things that are impossible. Impossible, not possible is not possible for me. Right?
Did y'all catch that? That was good.
he wired me different. I'm wired different. I don't believe.
You're different.
I'm just different.
So your journey to success is going to be different.
It's going to be different. Yes. It's not going to be easy. You know, that's another thing about working out. You want to quit through the process. Your chest is a heart beating.
I can't breathe.
You can't breathe. You hot. You not cute. That's why I spent so much time sharing that journey, because it hurts. But in the end, when you get through it, which is what has constantly been the constant in my life. Yeah. When Maxie died, it was the worst experience.
So abrupt.
Of my life.
Yeah.
My mom, I was a caregiver for many years. I was mentally, God gave me the time to mentally prepare. Yeah. That's why she was at my house. And, you know, she had a heart attack, a couple heart attacks. And, you know, my dad, I'm putting his business in the street, but he was with his girlfriend. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day. But Maxie almost destroyed me. It almost took me to a place of a very dark, like, pointing fingers at, you know, because I was in the R&B Divas thing. I was in the middle. I was literally set up to arbitrate or mediate the week. She died on February 28th, which was 2 days ago.
Yeah.
15 years ago. I'm sorry, 15 years ago. I'm sorry, 2015. And I was in the middle of, and everything. I don't even know how the R&B Divas thing ended, because it just meant nothingness to me. I literally told my attorney, I don't know what is happening. I don't give a flying frog leg what is happening. I don't care if I lose everything. I lost my sister. Wrap it up.
You had nothing to give. What could you have given to that?
Nothing else to give. So when that happened, and then looking back on this situation with P-Valley and Stars and Lionsgate, I was like, I lost my sister. Now, today, I'm even more motivated to fight, because my baby sister has brain cancer.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, if my little sister, 46 years old, 46, can fight brain cancer.
Absolutely.
I can fight
and get through it
at that company.
That you could. That you will.
That is the wind beneath my wings.
Yes, absolutely.
Period. So you gonna get it. They gonna get it from me.
Girl, you got a
and
lot
I don't care who don't like
good
it.
things.
Like, yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Please, are you kidding me? Enough.
Your testimony.
Yeah.
Girl.
And my sister was like, and I found out my sister had brain cancer the same time I found out the judge threw my case out. She said, if you quit, I'm going to hunt your ass forever when it's over. If it's that, you know what I mean? So that.
How is she doing, your sister?
By the grace of God, she's pushing through. It is a glioma, which is incurable. They come back, right? She's shocked. We got over the shock. Thank God for Henry Ford Hospital and all my friends there.
Okay.
I got on the plane and was like,
of course,
Christine Beatty, Gail Perry Mason, Kiko Day. Like, I called all my sisters in Detroit with that power. Look, I need an appointment here. We need So I would say to anyone who's dealing with that, and anybody who has a loved one, be their advocate, be there. Because, she obviously is like, she's been having these headaches. She goes to the doctor and she sends me a text message with a picture of a tumor. She's like, I'm processing, and she's processing. And so we try to smother her, but then we have to give her space
to process.
I'm in Atlanta, she's in Detroit, but they did something called, and I would encourage anyone who is Michael Strahan's daughter is dealing with a brain tumor. So I don't know what kind. This is the same. My sister has the same thing that John McCain had. That not Hunter Biden. The Joe Biden's son who passed away from the tumor.
Yeah,
same
not
kind
the
of,
wild one.
Yeah.
The other one.
Right. So it's something that typically affects white men, which is crazy. Jovita Moore. My sister has the same one? Oh. My sister has the same tumor that Jovita Moore had. But they did something called an ablation. There's new
they can't do
technology.
Surgery,
no, it was too deep.
Okay, yeah.
To do surgery. But they did an ablation.
Okay.
Which is a laser. They got 85% of the tumor out.
That's some... Praise God.
And it was just God, which is why I say, like, I can't complain about the horrible stuff that's happening, because I went to Detroit and my friend's like, nope, my such is on the board, call such and such. We had a meeting with one, like the best doctors in the world with brain, who does brain surgery. Right. He was like, it's too deep, I can't do it. And I was like, well, what about the ablation? And he was like, I don't know about that, but I think such and such has it. He's like, I'm gonna do the call right now. The doctor was on his way out, just happened to take his call. He was like, send her over, let me see her right now. We go over the same day. He's like, you know what, I can get you on the calendar. My sister had that surgery 2 weeks later. They shrunk or got 85% of it. Right. Then she went through chemo and radiation. She wrapped her radiation. Okay. So now she is she wrapped her radiation and chemo the first round. Now she is doing a what is it, more powerful chemo or a stronger chemo, which is kind of like, but she only has to do it 5 days a month. Okay. And then this month she gets her other MRI. However, the MRI that she got last month was good. No sign of regrowth. Yeah. It's doing what it needs to do. She's now not searching for words, but it's hard. Of course. It is hard. It is
something so invades your body. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's hard. And I didn't mean it. Look, I feel like I came and I just laid
all this down, okay. That's what it's all about.
But your family.
Yes, so, right. Yeah. That's right. And your family. And until we get it all out, until we're transparent and living in that truth, it's very hard to catch your breath.
Yeah. Ooh, baby. But yeah, she's good. Thank God my sister's good. Good. And she's the wind beneath my wings in every way.
So she would not want to see you stop.
No. She's already made it clear to me. Look. Don't you do it.
She's like, from the same cloth.
Right, exactly. And she talked about a fighter. Like I can't even imagine,
Oh, so how are you? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's switch gears a little bit.
Yeah.
So you look good, girl.
Thank you, April. You too,
look
baby.
good. So how are you? What is your self-care practice? Share with the people. Because a lot of people are dealing, maybe not quite as much as you are, but you're going after greatness requires all this. But it could be something just trying to launch a business or whatever. How is it? How are you taking care of yourself? You said working out. We did catch that.
We're doing
Exercise is important. Yeah.
Positive self-talk.
Yay.
Positive self-talk. Geeking myself up, as we say in Detroit. Always, and it's interesting because, I'd always heard people say, when you're going through stuff, you just have to slow down and you just have to really process and deal with it, right? But then I heard Oprah say once, distract yourself with things that you love. Distract yourself with things that you're excited about that make you forget in that moment. I tend to be very selective attention deficit disorder-ish.
Welcome to my world.
Selective ADD is a whole thing. It is a superpower. It is I'm not going to think about this. I'm going to shift my focus over here to something greater. Something more
Make it
positive.
work for you.
That's it. And, the ocean, the water.
Okay. How often you get to the ocean?
Baby, when I discovered the Redneck Riviera. The Emerald Coast.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Panama City Beach and Destin and all those places that are a 4.5 highway. Baby, it's just listen. When I say that my husband and I discovered that, because everybody knows about Miami.
Yes.
And, everybody's Daytona trying to go out the country and whatnot. Yeah. But
those beaches are everything.
They are beautiful. They are white. They are clean. They are sugary. Yeah. It is God. It is the ocean. The water is turquoise, and it's calm. So I go to the water.
Go to the water.
I go to the water.
I love that. I love that.
And my dog. My dog started off as an emotional support animal for my husband.
Oh, okay.
He's a Marine, and he just well, I mean, I call it that. He didn't actually say that's what it was, but I was just like, okay. Right now, we don't need no dog, but we just gonna say that this is an emotional support animal because this is, and he's a protection animal, which is amazing.
Okay.
But he loves me so unconditionally. And he's he doesn't talk. He just hugs and loves and sits, and he's so protective. And watching him,
for you.
So he has become emotional support for me, yes.
That's
because
wonderful.
It is unconditional love.
Yeah, they don't want anything in return. Just feed me.
Feed me and rub my belly.
That's it.
And he protects me from my husband, who is like, my husband and I literally never argue. My husband, I mean, we don't have a perfect marriage, but we don't argue. Like we're so over that whole space. But like if my husband is telling me about something, he's like, and babe, and check da-da-da-da. And then my dog will stand up and like, okay, what you doing? This my mama. And then he'll puppy guard me, as my nephew calls it.
Oh,
so
that's
I
cute.
just love it.
Oh, that's so cute. That's so cute. So what's important for you right now? Like what, 2024. Well, I could say because we're already into March.
Baby, this 2024 doing a thing.
It's a thing. I mean, it's out of here. You hear me? But what are the big? I know you're still in the throes of this case,
and that's not. Let me say this about this case.
Okay.
I have a level of confidence moving forward into this. First of all, the appeals court is 3 judges, baby.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Right? You get 3.
Mm-hmm.
Also, a lot of my judges' cases have been remanded, I think is the word, where they're like, one, this Fortnite case, baby, same thing. He had a video comparison side by side. So the circuit court is really, overturning a lot of these summary judgment motion decisions, right? I had a great conversation with the attorney who actually won a huge settlement for Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, allegedly they got like $300 million plus after they got denied from the district court in LA and went to appeals court. And the appeals court was, no, these are substantial for the same reasons. These are cases that were dismissed for the same reason as mine. Deciding substantial similarity, and you're not an expert and you're not a jury. If a person requests a jury trial, they deserve a jury trial.
Absolutely.
So we're very confident and hopeful that the appeals court will see it the same way they've seen these other cases. But what has given me peace is whether they do or not, we're still going forward.
Right.
We're still doing great content. Whether I lose at the appeals level and have to take it to the Supreme Court like our 45, right? But what's more important than me winning a great, huge financial settlement is the win that I already have because I fought. I stood up and I did it. And I understand that now. Right. And I've really processed.
Unapologetically.
I'm sorry about nothing.
I'm sorry I got to come in here and disrupt this.
I ain't sorry about nothing. Because here's the thing. I'm the most zen, peaceful, chill, cool, let's laugh, let's talk, let's eat, let's chill.
Fun,
And then the head turns around backwards when you try to disrupt that space. I don't go into anybody else's space trying to disrupt anything they're doing. Right. All I do is try to provide opportunities for all of us to grow and to build and to be great. When you start effing with me, I turn into a different person.
Absolutely. And you should.
Yeah.
Now, how do you think they got a hold of your work, though?
I met with the CEO of Lionsgate.
CEO that didn't even want to talk.
Who met with me. No, he didn't pass it off. We sat down and had a whole meeting.
Oh, okay.
I told him the whole pitch. He said, oh my God, I love the name Tata Burlesque. Go ahead. I love it. And I gave him the whole pitch. And then as I was leaving, you come prepared. I left him 2 copies of the DVD. I left 2 copies of the script of the play. I left him 2 copies of the pilot for the drama series. And I left him the deck. And he said, I'm going to share this throughout. I like to read with my family. I'll probably go read the script with my family tonight, which we found out that he even said in another situation that he reads these scripts with his family. I didn't hear back from him. It's Hollywood.
Yeah.
I'm okay. He wasn't interested.
Right.
And then Katori Hall, ironically, who was in LA at the same time that I was pitching. Why? Because I told you I turned into a different person. We got invested. We know we got proof that she was there. And then she said she went in and she pitched it to the CEO, and she said they were swapping each other's story ideas. So if he's swapping story ideas with you, where are he getting his ideas
exactly.
from? Could
Fresh
it be
out
from
of yours.
the content that I left at the, I don't
understand why they just wouldn't settle.
Well, let me say
maybe
this,
the arrogance
and I don't think
all.
I can discuss this.
Yeah, but maybe the arrogance
Settling is what I've wanted to do from jump.
Right.
But what I need them to understand is that if I came to you pitching ownership, meaning I went to the CEO of Lionsgate, I think the reason he may have taken my meeting is because my lawyer probably told him, she's working with the same people who funded Tyler Perry's ideas, which you are working with Tyler, and this is the deal. She wants the same kind of a deal, which means that that investor who invested in all, see, that's the thing about Tyler's wealth. Tyler was able to shoot and produce and license his content.
That's the key.
So when that person who invested in him being able to do that came to me and said at my house, he said, I will do the same thing if you get a distributor. So I was in LA having distributor. It was the same year I did the deal for From the Bottom Up with Shakim and Latifah at BET, which was a license. So I'm pitching you a licensing partnership ownership scenario.
Right.
And I guess maybe you decided it was cheaper to just hire somebody cheaper.
Right. Exactly. A work for hire. Give them a nice, substantial paycheck.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. So we know what happened
we'll stay
in our hearts and souls. And hopefully the appeals court feels like we at least deserve to really unpack this thing. I hope the appeals court believes that Katori Hall should sit on the stand and explain where it really came from.
Exactly.
I hope the appeals court believes that you can't redact testimony under oath.
Right.
Why are you redacting testimony under oath? Why do you not want people to see? And I wish I could tell you the things that he said that made me very confident we were going to trial, but I can't.
Wow. Mm.
So when you hog tie us,
yeah,
and stick a tennis ball in it, you know what I'm saying? And like, you can't take the abuse.
Yeah.
Take us taking your generational wealth opportunities away from you and your family, and don't say shit about it, or else. Well, I'm like, what are we doing?
What are we doing? I love this. I love it not because of the struggle that you're going through, but the precedent that you're setting. Because we've raised too much stuff under the rug.
Martha Wash, I have a conversation coming with Eric Monty, the creator of Good Times, the creator of The Jeffersons, the creator of Cooley High. You know, this is a man who created a show that every Black person in America knows. Just looking out of the window. Yeah. Watch it. We all know what that is. Right? Yes. And the fact that this brother, this genius, created all of this amazing content that turned 50 years old this year is his family. He got grandsons, a granddaughter who's a writer, a daughter who's a brilliant woman. These people generationally have suffered because of the greed of the people in Hollywood who would rather just take it all and send their kids to college, take it all and buy big houses for themselves, take it all and take fancy vacations, instead of seeing to it that the Black geniuses that were instrumental in creating something that's been around for 50 years.
And still going, yes.
And will continue for another 50.
Yep.
Why can't his grandbabies go to school? Why is he in a home right now, nonverbal? Why was he? Because he ended up having to settle because he went through a judicial. I can't give you guys, I'm going to let the story come from him. But long and short, they tried to offer him some Jimmy Crack corn, and unfortunately he took it. Oh. And he took it because they were like,
is this or nothing?
Is this, that's basically what allegedly that's what he said.
They try to scare, that's bullying.
Man,
that's
please, stop it. Stop it.
Cut it out. But not enough people are standing up. They kind of just take it. It's Hollywood. I can't fight Hollywood.
You can.
You can.
You can.
And she is.
And guess what? Listen, there's a lot of people scared of some of these folks that we seeing out here get called all the way out and name blasted for all kinds of terrible things that they've done.
Yes.
You know, Black folks, folks in this. So this is my question. If we look and we see those who shall remain nameless, take that, and anybody else, right?
Yes.
We see that there has been some really foul sugar honey iced tea going on.
Foul.
Since day one. How can you possibly blame or point the finger or like it's a do-over because they've controlled so much of everything in terms of their. So you got Epstein's and what's the other guy from the big company?
Yeah, well,
that guy. Him.
Yes.
That guy.
Yes.
And then you got all these others, which I'm not going to get the name, Weinsteins, and then you got other ones who've built these big, right, you know? And I have to say this, and y'all can cut it out and not share it, but I'm going to share it here.
No, we don't.
When I look at Tyler Perry, and I look at what he's been able to amass and build, and I look at who his audience has been, and I look at how we have deified him, I ask myself, how many others like you have you helped create? How many other opportunities have you provided for a Nicci Gilbert to go do what you're doing in Atlanta and Detroit? For someone in Texas to be for April Love to be how many people? It's cool to be filmed by, produced by, lot by, this by. And that's not an attack, brother. It's not. But why is it that we have multi-billionaire folks that look like us, people who understand the importance of ownership and what it creates for us, people who understand how our families, and this ain't about everybody wanting their kids to be entertainers. I want my grandson to be a lawyer. But as an entertainer, the things that the preeminent business assets that I create that go on to be millions and billions of dollars in value to other companies. Why, if someone is at the top of the heap, haven't they created others like them who can at least get there? I'm not asking for a handout.
Right.
Nobody's asking for you to make them rich.
Right. Or to write for them or create for them.
But if there are opportunities and you got all of these stories to tell, don't you know some great black women storytellers who could tell real stories about real black women's relationships that are actually you wonder? I mean, really, like, I know. You got shows that are doing really, really well. One is about sisters or girlfriends or something, ladies.
Yes.
Why isn't that a show created by other black women and able to tell those stories that way? Why isn't that happening?
That's why it's so important that you're doing what you're doing. Because you know how many of those stories are going around? They're on people's MacBooks all over LA, all over Atlanta. They have these stories, these great stories, but we see a lot of platforms, but there's not a whole lot of outlets for these creatives.
And that's a shame.
Because
we got Oprah, we got Tyler, we got Byron Allen, we got 4 or 5 black billionaires.
Yeah.
Who get and to say that it is not their responsibility is just such a travesty. And because we become billionaires in sports and media and entertainment. And we don't have the luxury at 15% of the population or whatever it is to not share the wealth, to not give the game away for free. You don't need no more money. You don't need any more money. You don't need another studio, and you don't need another credit on your IMDb. Give someone else the opportunity to build generational wealth and wellness in their family. Right. Because if we have 2 or 3 or 4 or 10 Tyler Perrys out here, the black community is going to thrive, especially if those people are majority black women. Because at the end of the day, as much as people would lead you to believe that black women just rolling their neck and sucking their teeth and fighting and acting crazy, you don't want to live in a world where black women say, you know what, enough, we done. Go, what you doing? Feed yourself. You don't want to live in that world. You don't want to live in a world where black people get tired of your black women get tired of your shit and decide to take a day off.
Yeah, because if they walk away, half of these people don't know how to find their files. They don't know how to. They don't
raise
even know
their
what
kids.
No, at all.
Teach their kids. Drive their cars. Pick up their trash. Serve their groceries. All of
everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm over the gender wars. No, black women are absolutely, completely necessary, and that is
very
the reason
necessary.
We're under
attack.
That's a
T-shirt. Hugely under attack.
Yeah. Because we're magical.
Yeah, we are.
It's just, and some
people are intimidated and afraid of the magic.
Oh, they
even
are.
People that look like us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because what happens is we've been conditioned to believe that there can only be a couple of us in the room.
That's right.
Right. That's why this Diary of a Diva conversation was so important to have. Not to rehash old sugar honey iced tea, but to say, hey, listen, we built something amazing with R&B Divas. This should be a tour. This should be a residency in Vegas. This should be so many things because we built a incredible franchise. And TV One is ready, willing, and able to do it. Okay. But the egos and the me, my, and the I has to be addressed in order for us to move forward. And for those women who are prepared to have those conversations, wide open to it. Because at the end of the day, no matter what anybody says out there in viewer land, I created the stuff. I created the show. I cast the show. It was my brainchild. It was my preeminent business asset.
Right.
So there is no competition there.
None. And the thing is, but what you're doing, you held space for them. That's not good enough? That's not good enough?
For some, yes. For others, absolutely not.
And they should absolutely not be a part.
and see, what's crazy about it is
bye-bye.
You got people who would, I know lives were changed on R&B Divas. Folks will say all day, well, I had a career before that. But nobody was thinking about you like they were thinking about you after you did the #1 show on TV One and saw millions of viewers every week. That created a platform for you to open up a whole new audience.
I was like, oh, where's she been?
And you went from having 10 followers to 1 million. So it mattered.
It mattered.
It totally mattered. Yeah. But there are people who would rather go do business with a man or another brother or somebody who talked about that, because they see an opportunity and they'd rather blow up their stuff than because I'm connected to it and I created the series. So, what are we going to go over here to WIRF TV for? Because she's going to try. I've never been a person to try to, contrary to what it looks like, I've never tried to control anything except the things that came from here.
Right.
I've never stepped into anybody else's world and tried to dictate how they live their life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do it. My daughter, my grandson, my husband, my family, my people, we got an understanding. Everybody else do what you want to do.
Right.
But there is this lie that the world is telling us about each other.
Yeah, we're programmed.
That makes us believe we can't work together.
And we perpetuate it. We have the most buy-in. We become gatekeepers to ourselves.
Because we don't understand our power.
When we're supposed to be a bridge.
We don't understand our power.
And our power together, collectively.
We understand our power when we're talking about power on stars.
Right.
We understand our power when we're talking about P-Valley on stars. We understand our power when they talk about Black Twitter, shut that down. This Wendy Williams thing at Lifetime, Black people not having it. We're like, no, you can't do that. And then
people
they start to apologize.
People are troubled.
Because what it is, it is a wake-up call for all of us. Wendy Williams was as good as it gets.
Right.
In the space of talk and daytime television and gossip.
Absolutely.
It ain't going to ever get no bigger because she was the
radio to
originator.
television.
I don't care how many extra followers you got because now you can just click a button and the algorithm. The natural instinct to entertain. My mother loved Wendy Williams.
Yes, exactly.
Much as she got on my nerves talking bad about people, I loved her.
Yeah.
If they will, she said it. If it happens to me, it can happen to anybody. Look at what's happening with Puff.
Okay.
Look at what's happening with all of these major Will Smith, Taraji P. Henson. Who's gonna get a bigger role on a movie than Taraji?
Right.
She's the tip of she is as good as it gets when it comes to like mainstream Benjamin Buttons, hidden figures.
Yes.
She's complaining about it. So why don't you understand how important it is to pay attention and to come together? Because when we collectively say enough, we unsubscribe to the BS and subscribe to things that are better, then we understand and they understand our power. And it's not about taking power and not working together with these people.
Right.
You know, we have to work with them. Yeah. Like the girl who says she's going to sue everybody. No, sis, that's not it. But let's amplify what they're doing that is wrong.
Exactly.
Don't spend $1 million like I did going through a judicial system.
Right. You
that might not see you.
Right. Exactly.
Right? Tell your story. Share it with the masses. Every opportunity you get. And then hopefully people will start to say, wait a minute, stop. Let's fix this. And then we can work together with those major distributors. And then everybody's healthy. Because if your consumers all are sick and unhealthy and can't afford to pay for your subscription service and can't afford to go to your movies and all that, you've now you've literally infected your pool of resources.
Right.
So you're going to eventually lose. Big multi-billion-dollar company. You're going to lose if you start losing all of your consumers.
Exactly.
Robots ain't going to cut it. Robots don't show up in the seats.
They don't pay their subscriptions.
They don't pay the subscriptions. Take care of the people who are taking care of you. Even though you got billions of dollars and it doesn't matter unless it makes 1 billion impressions. Eventually, the chicken's going to come home to roost and you're going to find yourself like Lifetime backpedaling. Folks should be unsubscribing in droves to anything that does what it did to Wendy Williams. Shame on you. They would never do it to Joan Rivers. They would never do it to, what's the lady from The View? Barbara Walters.
Right. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. But we've accepted so much for so long. That's why it's important. And I applaud you for being one of those people that moves unapologetically. And it moves the needle for all of us.
Oh yeah.
What you're doing, okay, yeah, you're gonna get whatever result that God's will will come. It will come in your case. Yeah. But you are speaking for the people that have been not courageous enough to speak up, or they don't really know where to start or what to do. So they're watching you, you know? So those that are standing up and showing up in the world right now, none of that's coincidence. And these people and this shift that's happening and the people that are falling from the top, tumbling.
You better get right before it come holler at you.
Because it's going to switch. Yeah, it's going to switch. There is a changing of the guards.
You can't mess with karma. No matter how much money you have.
No matter what you believe.
No matter how much money you have, you mess with God's people. This is a spiritual thing.
You shall reap what you sow.
Yeah.
That's why I think I breathe easily. I sleep. I mean, it's interesting, the world that we're currently in. But like you said, you're having the fight, but that fight has motivated you to start WIRF.
Yeah.
And you have people that are sitting in Nashville or Memphis or Chicago waiting for you to start that because they have a story to tell.
That's it. Bring your stories to WIRF Media. Listen, the minute we realize, and now there are a lot of people starting their streaming platforms. See, that is, God has given us the great equalizer. The great equalizer is find your audience.
Yes.
Give them some good food. And multiply.
But as Black creators, I can't drive that point home enough that we need these platforms that we are running. We need these networks. We need these places for content that we have some say so in. We can just greenlight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
you see what happened to Sean King on Instagram? He has 6 million followers.
Yeah.
Be quiet.
Can you believe that? Just that easy.
Algorithm.
Lack of ownership.
The OOTA, the owners of the algorithm will shut you down.
Now, he should have taken that community of his. He could have been doing it simultaneously, but that platform needed to be on something that he owns. Now those people got to come looking for you, come searching for you.
Yeah. Which is why I'm always, and don't get it twisted. I mean, these people don't want you promoting your platform on their platform.
Right.
But that's the other part of like what I'm saying to these multi-billion-dollar corporations. Let the creatives who know what they're doing, because there's a lot of folks out here calling themselves creatives and all they're doing is dropping it low and spreading it wide. I don't need to see another Sexy Red. I don't need to see another. People who know what they're doing. Get behind Black women. You will not go wrong. You will not fail. We roll our neck, we suck our teeth, we'll let your ass have it. But wouldn't you rather have someone tell you like it is? Even if it's challenging you, wouldn't you rather have someone say, this is what needs to happen? We are the fastest growing group of Black women are starting companies left and right.
Yes.
But we're the most underfunded.
Like, look, when somebody does work like Arian and her partner for the Fearless Fund, they're like, oh no, that is racially discriminating.
Yeah.
What?
But guess what?
Well, nah, you been getting money from venture capital.
It ain't gonna fly.
No.
What you are doing, flexing your money and your power, trying to shut people out through the judicial system and all that other stuff. At the end of the day, what is true speaks, what is real speaks to the heart, and the people are gonna turn on your asses and your products and the shit that you're selling. Is all going to go haywire if you don't get right with God's women of color, period.
Yeah, he don't play about us.
Period.
God don't play about us.
And that's the reason why we are so, it's the reason why we're challenged so much.
Yeah.
Because they know how special we are.
Yeah, yeah.
They know.
And what I want to do in this moment also is to admonish the other Black women to support one another. If you're a writer, I understand you trying to get to Lionsgate and you're trying to get all these places in Hollywood, but you have producers. Why can't you align with a director and a producer right where you are? Create something. Pool your funds. Somebody got good credit. Get you a little bit of financing like Spike Lee did. They've been doing it since the beginning of the time. Putting some money together. Creating something that can be licensed and flipping that money into something else that you guys do together. It's so many like shooters, but they're going, let me go over here and work for Bravo and they got a bigger check. And a smaller production company, I don't have them. I can't afford what they pay you at Endemol or whoever. But this is going, I have a vision. But it's like, my buy-in is in, I'm going to go over here with those people.
That is the conditioning. Yeah. That is the agitated propaganda. That is the bull sugar honey iced tea. I work with Michael Jackson. I've worked with Queen Latifah. I've worked with Tyler Perry. I've worked with Sony. And Prince wrote slave on the side of his face. You're not going to ever become more popular than Prince. Michael Jackson had to call him out for what they did to him. You're never going to be more powerful than Michael Jackson. These people are dangling letters, CBS, NBC, you know what I'm saying? And we have programmed ourselves to believe that it's better.
It's better. Because it's bigger and it's flashier, it's better.
Here's what I try to tell everybody and try to get them to understand. Had a show on TV One, and I love TV One as a network, and I'm really excited about the work that we're about to do together, the work we've done together. But the show that I had on TV One, R&B Divas, spawned franchises, made lots of money, I'm sure, was hugely successful. But I wasn't able to become a homeowner and have some semblance of generational wealth and wellness until I got part ownership of a show that nobody really watched from the bottom up on BET. And the reason why is because when you own something, you get a piece of all of what happens. So even if it's a teensy weensy little piece of all of it, it's better than the accolades and the awards and the bill and the #1 show and the history making and all of that other stuff.
Absolutely.
That's fluff. That's makeup on stage. That's an outfit. That's a pair of $2,500 shoes that you can't wear every day because people gonna talk about you because you're wearing them $2,500 shoes every day.
Exactly.
That's fake, phony, flossy, glossy stuff that means nothing when it comes to generational wealth and wellness.
Same thing that's happening in music. You know, they're like, oh, you think
record
you look
deal.
good.
What is a record deal?
They give you a couple $100,000. You think you're rich. You look a certain way. You like, oh, I'm doing this thing, but you don't own your masters. You don't really have, when it's over, said and done, and they're selling these huge catalogs. If you don't have that kind of ownership.
Listen, it doesn't. And here's the thing. A lot of people talk about masters. I was just on a call before I did this talking to somebody about Brownstone is turning 30. If You Love Me will be 30 October 24th. We're doing a new record. I'm like, I don't want to necessarily own my masters.
Right.
But what I want you to do is renegotiate the deal where I'm your partner. You do what you do. See, we need distributors. We need Lionsgate.
No, we do need distributors.
We need distributors.
We do.
But we need them to stay in their place.
But the cute
which
part
is counting the beans
Yeah.
and distributing it. Don't get into the creative space. You need creatives and really smart money people, distribution people to be partners.
Yes.
Not slave and master.
And our distributors need us. They need creatives.
Yes.
They need creatives who are getting downloads directly from God that you will never be able to steal out of their head.
Yes.
You know? And I'm sure you won't be leaving scripts anymore.
No, I won't be leaving anymore. I won't be leaving any more scripts. I won't be doing any more pitch meetings. Here it is. If you want to know what we working on, baby, unless I know you and we've got a relationship, and even then, go to WIRF TV. You can license anything we create over there.
Yeah.
But if we can't do it, if we can't create it, we hold off until we can. But we're not giving any more incomplete ideas to people because they will hire somebody to do it for you.
Yeah,
and you will never listen. And media is so important. To your point, there's no reason why in Atlanta, Tyler Perry is the only game in town. It's just not.
It makes no sense.
Because he doesn't represent the voices of all people, all women, all men. And what happens is when you constantly see that one narrative all the time, one story by the same person all the time, globally, worldwide, you think that is who we are.
Yeah.
I don't have any friends like the people on Tyler Perry shows.
And the thing is, kudos, Tyler Perry. But we're so multi-dimensional as people.
Kudos.
We're multi-dimensional.
Kudos.
I wouldn't do half of the stuff that the ladies do on
what
Tyler
I'm saying.
Perry's movies.
And I don't mean any shade, but I don't
shade.
have no friends. But at the end of the day, like the way they handle issues with men and the men that they choose and stuff, it may happen for a friend in the group. But if you got 8 friends in the group, it's happening to if that person.
Yeah.
So let us tell genuine, authentic stories because now what's happening is you're telling the whole world this is who Black women are.
Right.
They sleep with men who they find out are gay or they're angry or they're emotional or they're depressed or they're this. I got so many look at you. I got so many friends that's bout it and ride it and fly and getting it cracking and popping and
so many different dimensions of who we are.
Let us see ourselves represented.
It's frustrating.
Yeah.
Not the LGBTQ community not playing no games.
Man,
you see them everywhere.
Man, you try to step on their narratives and they will shut you down. And you hit the nail on the head. You hit the nail on the head. Until Black women
come together,
embrace that LGBTQIA community power, we're going to always be struggling and being treated like 3rd and 4th class citizens.
Because you're on an island. We can't do this on an island. We have to collectively come together. Almost unionize kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? But
that's what we're doing over at WIRF.
I love it, WIRF. Make sure, do they subscribe?
Right, because we show going to be as you subscribe. Yes. And it's free $99 right now. Yeah. And as we add more content, we're going to put it behind a paywall. And how does someone
pitch?
Listen, baby, here's the pitch. I was already going to pitch you like, what you doing with your episodes? And here's the thing. You don't have to not put yourself on YouTube. You don't have to not have your stuff out there. It's just we're building a community where people who might not be going to social media and YouTube or whatever, it's a whole audience of, baby, I got into this D9 family and I'm like, these are working women who ain't got time.
And they're going to support you.
You understand?
Yes.
So all you have to do is say, Nicci, we're ready to put some content up on the site and see what it does. It's a very clean, very easy understanding. Just like on YouTube, when YouTube gives you the rundown of how long somebody watched, what they watch for. We have the same analytics and the same
nice.
data. Yeah. So April,
it.
this is how many people watched your show. This is what we brought in for it. Thanks, partner. And if everything worked like that.
Everything. Yeah.
If everything worked like that, this isn't my network. This is our network. I don't want to be the only person out here creating great stuff. I want to marry myself to other sisters and brothers and folks out here in the community who are also doing great stuff. So we can just move that audience to this space where we don't have to destroy ourselves for $1. It's too much. I was so, yay, Portia's going to be on the Housewives. Yay. And then the next day I'm like, oh, she's going through a divorce. Here we go watching another Black family spiral.
Live and a living color on television.
I hate it.
I do too.
And I love Portia.
I do too.
I think the ladies are all dope.
Yeah.
Can we get back to the space of just watching them be dope and not watching Black men? Because if you think about it, when you think about that show, and I'm not attacking nobody. I'm just, that's the problem with me. I just tell the truth, right?
Yeah.
My opinion, I should say. But how many Black marriages and relationships have we watched be destroyed there? Nobody. We don't need to keep seeing that.
Yeah. I've been a part of the cleanup for a few of them with campaigns trying to, oh no.
Why do we have to keep seeing that?
Right.
They love we love Portia. We love Nene. I'm so ready. I'm like, ladies, what? I mean, they unlocked her into some deals, but anybody, look, I'm here to work with any of these brilliant, successful brainstorm. That's the other thing we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing monthly sort of brainstorming creative sessions on WIRF where we can talk and share. Nice. And I'm going to help people produce their reality TV shows, their we do docuseries. We don't do reality TV.
Yeah.
We do docuseries TV because reality TV is some old concocted, lightweight scripted garbage that destroys too many people.
Absolutely. And some people are just milking it for all it's worth.
Yeah.
To the detriment of the people that they've casted. But anyway,
but see what happened with Whitney. See Wendy Williams. See Wendy Williams. They're going to have you on there while you are mentally unstable.
Right.
Spiraling out of control without your wig to destroy everything you created. Wendy should have had ownership of her show.
Absolutely.
Wendy's family
as big
should
as
be
she
able to
was,
benefit.
how iconic she was.
Yeah.
There's no way she should not
and
have.
And that's Lionsgate.
Yeah.
Debmar Mercury is a Lionsgate company.
Look at Lionsgate. These companies, that's another thing. These companies are picking up and acquiring these companies. It's becoming like these like smaller groups of gatekeepers to the point that people feel susceptible. Like I have to do a deal with basically sometimes the devil. I got to do a deal. Sacrifice this, sacrifice that.
It's not worth it. It's not worth the happiest times when Black people think about when we are happiest and most at peace. It's not when we got on the $5,000 shoes and the $8,000 bag and we at the party that we standing around taking a few pictures. We go stand around, take a few pictures like we had a really in-depth conversation. You know, cute, look where we were. But when we are happiest is when we're chilling with people we love. We eating good. We having a nice little drink or we watching something real good on TV. And that doesn't require a tremendous amount of wealth. That peace doesn't require you to sell your soul to the devil. I don't want to be rich anymore. What I want is to be comfortable enough to make sure my family has generational wealth opportunities, to make sure that what I do for a living allows my grandson to hold on to our house that we work so hard to fight off being foreclosed on because we fighting over here. You know what I mean? So that generations of people of color have the ability to live healthy, wealthy lives.
Right.
It doesn't require us to be super rich. Being super rich makes you a target.
Absolutely makes you a target. That's why I'm like, I don't want to.
I don't need to be super rich.
Oh, yeah. Nah.
I said I don't need to be super rich, but I want ownership
Opens
of
up
my
the floodgates
shit.
too.
And I don't own it because when I'm not here anymore, it's not like Nicci Gilbert's WIRF TV. I mean, hopefully it's, but what it is like a lot of people don't know United Artists was a bunch of artists back in the day that came together and said, let's do this together ourselves. That's all we want. And we want people like Tyler Perry and people like Oprah Winfrey and people like Byron Allen and people like the other billionaire to see people like Nikki and April and all these other dope managerial type creatives. Because every creative isn't, doesn't use all the brains.
No.
But those of us who, I mean, I don't mean that
no,
offensively.
I get it. Yeah.
Some people don't want to do it.
Some people just a face. They're just
Some
talent.
people want to perform.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want to perform. I like doing this more than I like performing at this point.
I like giving platform to
Period.
people
Queen
that
makers,
we need to hear.
Baby.
That's
Queen
right.
makers,
That's right.
Honey.
Because at the end of the day, I feel like if these stories don't get out, if we don't get behind the scenes and talk about what Nicci has going on and the other guests that I have going on, the people that are coming up or emerging or looking to pivot don't really have a blueprint. Period. It's not like, you know what I'm saying? They don't necessarily have the wherewithal to know, like, okay, I could have lost everything. Oh, but I can get it back.
Right.
You know, they're like, no, you know, so they need to see stories of inspiration. They need to know, like, while I'm sitting here holding my breath, I can release and there can be an opportunity for me to just pick up everything and start all over.
And sometimes
just breathe.
God, just breathe.
Yeah.
Sometimes God, I always say, he brings us to our knees to make us pay attention. You think something is great. I embrace the ebb and the flow.
Yeah.
I embrace the having it here, have it all crumble and have it to rebuild it again. Because all those lessons I learned when I thought I knew some shit, it's like, you know, when you're 20 something, you think you know everything. Then you turn 30 and you're like, oh my God. Then when you're 30, you turn 40, you're like, oh shit. Now that I'm like getting closer to like 55, I'm 53. I'm like, did I really think I knew? What was I thinking about over there? I didn't know anything compared to what I know now.
Right.
So allow God and the universe to break you down all the way to start all over again.
Yeah, whatever needs to be stripped away, even though how like vital it looks to you. Like some people think, you know, if I'm getting evicted or if I'm losing my car, or if I gotta move, it's the end of the world. No, let me tell you, it's the beginning.
It is the beginning. Let me say something. My husband's gonna hate me for this. He's gonna hate me for this, but we family and we have a girlfriend conversation. And I'm gonna wrap it up. We had to fight to save our home. We've been in our home for 10 years. We've never had a problem in our home.
Right.
But this litigation has taken everything from us.
Oh, wow.
Everything. But what's crazy is there were so many moments where we were like, oh, you know, we fighting too hard. We might lose it. God, like, no, that ain't what it is. I just need you to be over here to experience this so that you could get the information about this thing over here. Right? So, example, we discovered that there are all these programs that really help people who are going through it, right? So I say to anybody in Georgia, if you're having problems from the COVID forbearance, look up Georgia Half. Georgia Half. They have grants up to $50,000 to help homeowners. And they got a ton of money because a lot of people don't know. So there are people out here who lost their homes from because what happened was COVID pandemic, you could get the forbearance, put it on the back of the loan because nobody was working.
Right.
A lot of entertainers not working, right?
Right.
But then at the end of the forbearance, it was like, okay, you owe us $7.79. Well, there are places we didn't even know existed that are available to help people going through hell. And it's like you have to go be on your knees in order to be like, oh, this is available? So I could... You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when we start thinking about losing everything or getting on the brink of losing everything, sometimes you get to that place because there is something greater on the other side of that loss.
Absolutely.
Something more fulfilling and something that's going to make it even easier for you going forward. So now we're able to do the things that we need to do. We're able to establish but now we don't have to worry so much about that. We can launch this platform.
Exactly.
But if we didn't have that issue,
right.
If we didn't get all the way to the bottom, we wouldn't have even known.
So good.
That's some personal stuff that my husband's going to be mad at me for sharing, but I feel like it's important because I've always said as celebrities, we tend to not want people to see us as human. To see us vulnerable.
And that is the
worst.
To
see us broke.
That's irresponsible.
To see us struggling to rebuild.
To see you being human.
To see us being human.
Yeah.
And then you look up and you got, I hate to keep saying it, but Diddy. Or this one. Or that one.
Right.
And trust me, it's so many of us out here flossing and flogging, all up in the videos dancing and looking like we got it.
Right.
And are broken.
And that's the place to start, that place of healing. Because otherwise, nothing's going to mean anything. Yeah. I don't care how much money you got. If you're broken, you're just going to get better drugs.
That's it.
Better things to help you cope.
That's it.
But coming to terms with the fact that we don't have to do that. We could have everything that God richly desires for us to have.
Yeah.
And it might not be, like Nicci said, it won't be easy necessarily.
Right.
But you have the strength. You're built for it. Yeah. You're built for everything you're going through.
Most Black women are.
Yeah.
Most of us
are. People
ladies,
try to break us, though. They try to break us, don't
and it's hard. Listen,
they try to break
and the
Black
reason
woman.
I say that is because we deal with so much. Y'all don't want us to say it. You get mad when we say it. You say we separate Black women from men. But how many single parent homes are out here with women doing the best job they can to raise your sons?
Right. Exactly.
How many fathers just didn't make it to practice because they just got to do what they got to do out here? Mothers are never going to abandon their children. Mothers are always going to make sure you have not good ones. Well, yeah, let me be clear.
Yeah.
You know, but as the vast majority of us, we want to give love. We want to, and it's so hard. And y'all because we got to do the jobs of men. Because we have to take on the responsibilities.
Being the mother and the father, that's got to stop too.
And it's this industry. People talk about the soft life, right?
Yep.
You know. Call me what you want to call me. It's not about a soft life. It's about a whole life.
A whole life, yeah.
Right? It's about a long life, right? And we get caught up in believing that we want someone to just take care of us, which we do, and it's good and it's important.
Yeah.
But we really got to understand the importance of taking care of ourselves. And understanding that Superman may never show up. I'm so blessed to have a husband who has my back in every way, who loves me dearly and I love in return.
Amazing.
Who is truly my soulmate. But he doesn't make me happy. He adds to my happiness.
Right.
Period.
Yes.
I've made the decision that happiness is a personal choice.
That it is. And it's infectious.
Yeah.
I love it.
Even going through hell. People be like, but girl, you don't seem like, well, I am. And is.
Right.
And there are days
but it won't break you.
But I let it break me when it needs
Initially,
to.
okay.
Right? I let it break me when I need to. I haven't had one of these in a long time, and I'm debating about whether to share it. I've been doing like a personal diary thing. But I broke all the way down when that judge threw my case out. Ugly crying, snot, hated it, had so much to say. And I allow myself to ugly cry. But then you got to get your together, stand up, suck it up. And just because you're hurting doesn't mean you're broken. We can have those moments.
And we need them. We deserve them. Yeah, exactly.
Baby, pull up bipolar.
Oh, yeah, because she's gonna cry. Now she's going to cry. Nobody's gonna ever give me any guilt nor shame about that.
And all of that. You shouldn't share. You should. No, yes, you should.
Yes, you should. That's the problem now. Yeah. Everybody thinks everybody looks like that filter. Everybody comparing
that filter, baby.
Comparison paralysis.
So funny.
Like I can't get my stuff together. But you compare yourself to somebody who does filters, who has an in-home chef, who's taking Ozempic, who doesn't have a good relationship with their whatever. You know, you don't know the story. Stop. Stop it. Stop it today. Just breathe.
Right.
And know that you are in the right space at the right time for what you need.
Yeah.
Just like we are.
Yeah. That's
sharing this space with you.
That's it. And I challenge every woman who has a following, a large following, every because we're very important. Because we influence a lot, right? Yeah. Influencers, whatever. I challenge you to be more authentic. Be more real about the things that you're going through.
Absolutely.
You can still be fabulous and pretty and cute and sexy and filtered out. But be more authentic and more real about what you're going through.
Absolutely.
Even if you get fewer likes, those 2 or 3 likes that you got were important, equally as important as the 200,000. Because what you're being real and authentic really authentically impacted somebody. And you could have saved somebody's life. Absolutely. I'm not going to tell you the number of times people have DM'd me and said, I saw your post. I saw your live. And I was in a dark place and it really helped me.
Wonderful.
And it might have been 10 people on the live that night. But that one person sent me that DM, made it all worth it. From the bottom up, last plug, watch From the Bottom Up season 1 on WIRFTV.com. We put a child predator who was sexually assaulting and raping young girls in Port Huron in jail for his life. So it doesn't matter. Millions of people didn't see it.
Ooh.
We helped
put
away a predator by allowing Sarah to be authentic and real. And share her story.
And that was so powerful. I was just like, you want to come through the TV and hug her.
Yeah.
She went through a lot. That's why I'm saying so much healing needs to happen. And in that cast of yours too.
Baby.
I think that was shifted. Yeah.
Baby, listen. When women of color come together in unity, we are unstoppable, April.
Unstoppable.
And the reason they work so hard to divide us is because they know that.
They know. And they know that we see them.
But we have to start seeing each other.
Yeah, we do. We do.
We do.
We absolutely do. We have to see one another. Because I'll be like, girl, I see you. I put little eyes on the
Baby, listen,
I see you.
And we get busy and we forget and we feel like bad friends sometimes and we go through our shit. But that's the reason. And again, WIRF is a streaming platform. But again, we're going to do monthly. We're doing a mental health corner. Pam, who's incredible. She's the CTO of our company and she struggles with bipolar disorder. She's very vocal about it. She's going to be hosting intimate conversations where people can go in and just do a nice, with therapy and therapist, conversation about dealing with mental health and mental wellness in our community. So we're not just going to entertain the people. We're going to uplift, inspire. And
we have a lot more to do in this season of our lives and this time and in the current climate. You know, we got to come against all the sexy reds and the NBA young boys.
And let me say this about them babies, because we talk about them all the time.
I know.
One day they're going to grow up and they're going to be like Ice Cube and Dre and all these rappers who used to be like F the and now they're business people and there's, you know, I see Cardi B evolving.
Oh yeah, I see her evolving now.
Yes.
Yeah, I see her evolving.
I see them evolving. And I think that, you know, it's just a phase that we all have to go through. But I think it's very important for the adults in the room who have been there and done that to stop being cowards.
Yeah, speak up.
And stop complaining about what Monique and Cat Williams and Nicci Gilbert and all these other Daniels and all these other people are doing.
Yes.
And just support. If Black people would stop tearing each other to shreds, if Black people, me and Monique had a powerful healing conversation. And I went through the comments and I was like, did y'all not hear that Angie Stone is like really physically suffering from a lot? Did you not hear the love and the sisterhood? Get out of the mess. It's okay to be cool. It's okay to love on people.
Yes.
Everything doesn't have to be a YouTube bloggers, you know, tearing people to shreds and disrespecting. Because look, as you see with some of them YouTube bloggers out there, tearing people to shreds.
Right.
Karma.
All right.
I don't care how much money you got.
It's coming for you.
It's the great equalizer.
It is. It is
the great equalizer.
It is. So now we know WIRF Media. Yes. What else should we stay
excuse me, Brownstone.
Tuned in for with you? Oh, Brownstone.
Brownstone, yes. So Brownstone is in a really beautiful place right now. It took us a long time to get there.
Right.
Erin Jackson and Alexis Jones, who are sisters, biological sisters, incredible women. Are now my sisters in song in Brownstone.
Okay.
We are If You Love Me turns 30 years old October 24th.
Yeah.
So we're doing something really special there. And our album turns 30 years old in 2025.
Oh, wow.
So we're going on tour. We've been offered some opportunities from some folks, but it's got to have some ownership and partnership attached to it. If not, we're going to wait.
Right.
But we're new music and just WIRF. That is it. And praying that this appeals court.
Yeah, we'll be praying with you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just looking for people like you and other great content creators who want to put some stuff up over there at WIRFTV.com. You feel me?
Yes, we're right here for it.
There's nothing more important in my life and career right now than this platform, because media controls everything.
Everything.
One of my favorite shows in the world is Succession on HBO. Have you watched it?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
It dictates the culture.
It does.
And as much as I love to sing and to perform, and I am going to be doing some sketch comedy stuff. I've been thinking about, it's a form of therapy. Like I've been writing out some comedic stuff, you know. People don't even remember me being funny because I've been so serious here lately. But I'm actually a really funny comedic actress, you know. So I'm doing that just for my own healing so that I can remind myself. My mom used to always say, I like when you're funny. I love when you're young.
Laughing is healing. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Oh, this is amazing. I could talk to you for days. You know we do that. We just got to get together.
We do.
Yes.
We do. And we do in real life.
Do.
So April, why don't you set up something where you do like a little monthly mix or a bi-monthly mix or something where you bring together the good people to just come and chop it up and talk ideas. And you should, because you're the person to do it. Everybody loves April Love.
Oh.
right? Come up with something.
Oh my God.
I'll be there. Just
consider it done. Say less.
Yeah.
Let's add that to my list.
Just put the women in the room and let's just.
Yes.
Because you know what? If it can't happen, Atlanta is a mecca.
Yeah.
For like badass, successful Black women.
Yes, absolutely.
And we really need to come together and become friends and heal our relationships.
And I'm never in a room in the city that I don't pull somebody to someone else. You need to know her and you need to know him.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So consider it done.
You should do a love gathering of some kind.
Oh, Lord.
You should.
You are being so prophetic right now.
Yeah, you should.
Now I'm forced. No,
do the love gathering before I sue your ass, April. No, and just create something because we need it.
Yes.
We really need it. We really need it. And maybe we can capture it for WIRF TV and
Oh yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
We just look what happens when you see the magic.
That's what
right before your eyes. You see the magic.
That's what it is. That's how we do.
Yeah, when we communicate and not
that is how
catty with each other.
You gotta go
amazing.
To Andy
period.
To be you were Nene was Nene before she got on that show. Yeah. They captured her magic.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see.
She is who she is.
That is a person I really want to see.
I want to see her back on TV too. I do.
I want to see her on her own stuff though.
Yeah.
I don't think she needs anybody. Whatever. It's the whole thing. And here's the thing. Don't think because you're on this platform you can't go to a larger platform.
Yeah.
But by starting off here, you're letting them know it's going with or without you.
Yeah.
And you have more negotiating power.
Mm-hmm. And you have your analytics, your numbers, your data.
Baby, the analytics, the numbers, the data is daddying.
Yes, numbers don't lie.
People do.
People do. On that note, this has been another amazing episode. And yes, I'm saying another because I am so excited by the lineup of guests we have this second season. Nicci just put the cherry on top, okay? She just did that. But you make sure you tune in. You tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yes.
WIRF Media is there.
Yes. And our YouTube channel is WIRF TV is the YouTube channel. So subscribe to YouTube. Mm-hmm. And WIRFTV.com is the streaming app. WIRF Media is the umbrella company.
I love it. Okay.
Yes.
Got that? Good.
Women in reality, film, and TV.
You know women make everything better.
Yes, we do.
All right.
We got the sauce.
Yeah, the whole
hot sauce in our bag swag. Now, what we need is for Beyonce
to
just decide that she's going to start something similar to this and just bring all the women together and just make it a powerful, look at me putting Beyonce out there. She is the example.
She could do it. Yeah,
Beyonce is the example. She is a master at being able to separate her life from her gig. Mm-hmm. And she has taken over the world in her gig and she seems extremely well adjusted in her life. Mm-hmm. That is amazing to me. And I remember meeting them when they were much younger. Yeah. And people going to say this, of course. But I worked with Chloe and Halle when they were younger too. Yeah. I always knew. I can see it. Yeah. That's why I like the queen maker thing. I can see it. And she is an example of success in this industry. I don't know what she's going through personally. I don't know her. Yeah. But she has her family, which appears to be intact. Yeah. And her career is on fire. On fire. And she's getting and dibbling, dabbling. She ain't let up. Oh, gas. Okay. She over there doing the rodeo right now. All gas. Okay. All gas, no breaks. Same for us. All of them Destiny's Children, though. Yeah, I love Kelly. They came in at the perfect time. Kelly Rowland. Oh, I love Kelly. It's one of my favorites. I gotta watch the Mia. You watched it? I did. I've gotten and that is the example. Look, we're gonna just keep talking, but that is the example. If there is somebody or was somebody in Tyler Perry's camp that loves Kelly Rowland as much as we love Kelly Rowland. And we love her, yes. Who had the ability to do it from a Black women's place of sensibilities and really get in there and really, and he just provided all the backup. Yeah. But like a Black woman had the final, this is it. Yes. That would have been a thing. That was the golden opportunity. Bring in somebody nobody's ever heard of. It ain't got to be me. It ain't got to be you. But there are talented people. We digress. I think it's time for new folks to have a shot. Absolutely. 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 If you've done 5, 10, 15, 20 movies, pass the baton. Yeah, you're good. That's how I feel. I love you, Jesse Collins, but I'm coming for something. The award shows, the live events. You can't do them all. Can we do the Women in Reality Awards here in Atlanta? We can do it. Can we do it? And can you produce it? Absolutely. Because I think that there needs to be a show for all of these reality TV people to win their awards, something fun and light and fabulous. Let's do it. I've been wanting to do Women in Reality Awards forever. Just women? So you just... Well, we could say reality TV awards, but who would you give it to on reality TV as a men? They don't really get into men in reality TV that much. Mona does with Love and Hip Hop, but I'm not endorsing any of that. I'm not endorsing the five baby mamas and women.
Yeah. Okay.
Women in reality, because think about it. That's who everyone's talking about, whether it's Potomac
especially
or Housewives.
Since Mr. Chrisley went to jail, because I really did like him.
You did, right? Yeah, but so that right.
Yeah, I
said
them.
women in reality. Yeah. Right, you know, that's like women in music, like you know, something that acknowledges, and it doesn't have to be like it could be old reality TV from the Tammy Roman, the queen of reality, you know. But I think people would enjoy that. Yeah, and what would be great is if all of the reality TV companies would let go of some of those packages and footage, so we can say, here's a perfect moment, you know, buy wig. You know, the ideal reality TV. Here we go discussing. See, that's the thing.
Yeah. Now. Okay, we're going to stop right there because, you know, we don't have time to be sending cease and desist. No, I'm just kidding. Right. But for real, though, yeah, but that's what happens. The magic starts happening when you come into these spaces together and you mean each other good and good comes out of it. We got to do more of it. That's it. We got to do more of it.
The more successful, I want my friend to be super successful and wealthy, and so that I can come be like, hey, April, can we? And you want me to be super successful. Exactly. You can be like, hey, Nicci, how about?
Yeah.
That's how it works.
That's exactly how it works.
Everybody's got a season. Don't try to be me.
Right.
I'm not going to try to be you.
Right. We're not going to do a good job at it. I won't be a good job trying to be anybody but me.
Didn't nobody create R&B Divas but me.
Right.
So stop trying to take credit and start tours and things.
Yeah, same thing I did with Princess with Housewives. I made her start speaking up. Just speak up.
I'm so glad you made her speak up about that.
Speak up. She wasn't going to say anything.
I'm so glad you made, because people don't want to be, women don't want to be seen as difficult. Right. Women want to preserve their relationships with folks.
Exactly.
But there's a lot of respect for those of us who speak up, because if you're a CEO, who you want? Somebody who will come in your office and tell you the truth, or somebody who's going to fluff you and BS you and then stab you in the back later? Yeah,
exactly. And have you looking crazy around other people. So, yeah. Well, we know what to do. We just have to do it.
We do.
Yeah, this is great. This is really great. It's cathartic. Good.
Yeah.
I feel really good.
Me too.
I feel really good. So now you guys know how to tap in. Stay in touch, share, like, subscribe, tell a friend about a friend, and keep writing, keep creating, keep collaborating. Get with your friends. If you're an undergrad, get with your friends in your dorm that you know are creatives. And if you're on a corporate job, but you know you don't want to be there, don't wait to get fired, because God will push you off a job.
Baby, listen.
Okay.
Baby, listen. Yeah. And if you have content and things that are already done that are good quality and great stories, holla at your girl, because we want to get into the space of licensing. Because once I do like the Pirates of the Caribbean and get this $300 million from these people who took my stuff, I'm going to start being able to give people a nice check too.
Yes. I'm coming over there.
But they're partnerships.
Partnerships.
We want partnerships with people. We don't want to, we might acquire some things here and there, but we want to work partnerships. We want to show that that model works.
And it does. It does. So, this is good. I'm going to go back and watch it myself. I know we had a lot of good nuggets over there, but I thank you for...
My long-winded ass. I've been in this business for 30 years. I got a lot of stories.
Yeah, but I'm so happy that you made time for us today. I'm so happy for your transparency and your honesty always.
Of course.
You know, and my what up, though, Detroit sister.
What up, though? Let people hear your story from your mouth. Don't
from your mouth. And on that note, guys, it's been another great episode, and we will see you next time.